Welcome to Premier Sports Talk. We are live in the studio, bringing you the sports talk show for the people. Let's dive in.
What's up, everybody? What's up? I'm Double P, host of Premier Sports Talk. Today is the 12th of August, last day of training camp up there in Berea. I want to give you the live press conference, and the plan is to, once we get done with this live press conference, to tap in with Reese Will, do a live collaboration the last day to the public. Last day for the public. Give you the highlights, real time. So without any further ado, I'm Double P, host of Premier Sports Talk. The ask is, if you're enjoying this content, go ahead on and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the like button for me. That's my ask of you, okay? That's my ask of you. Let me know who you want to be QB1 coming up, who you want to be the backup, who you're rooting for, and where you're watching from.
Competitive and physical. And then, things just got a little heated towards the middle of practice there. And then, after practice, we were fine.
What's it like going against him? He just seems like relentless.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's the perfect word to describe him. He's just always the same dude. And then every single play, he's bringing 100%. So I think relentless is the perfect way to describe him.
Did you feel like how much does he sort of that relentlessness sort of bring it out of you also? Because you hear him talking and you hear him, the way he goes every play and play out. How much does it just force you to kind of match his level?
Oh yeah, well it's my job to keep him off the quarterback, so I'm going to be relentless as well to make sure that happens.
How about the fact that you showed that dog, you showed that fight, that spark that they were looking for, and that pushed you over the edge into the left tackle. What did you make of that ball?
I thought that was awesome. I don't know. Every day I'm just trying to come out here and compete, and if that's what they wanted to see, then hell yeah.
Spencer, I know the first time we talked to you, we're well aware that going against Jared would be a good challenge for you, that it would help with your development. Is it still kind of, a part of mental toughness, getting ready every day to go out and, accept, hey, I'm going to do some against this guy, but I have to hold my own too?
For sure. I mean, every day I have to get ready to go against the best player I've ever played against every single day. So there's definitely a part of that, just getting ready for that every day.
What's that relationship like where we saw him after practice working with you the one day, and then even yesterday, it looked like you guys got into it, but at the end, he kind of gives you congratulatory pat on the helmet. So how do you kind of go back and forth between the battles on the field and then helping each other?
I think at the end of the day, we're both competitors, and so all we want to do is win, and then we get really upset if we lose. So I think that's kind of the way both of us are wired, and we both understand that. So just at the end of a practice, at the end of the day, we're still teammates, and we're still here to get each other better. And that he's been getting me so much better. So I don't know, just that whole answer, yeah.
His power is well advertised. That's his game.
Is there?
Are there other parts to his game?
For sure.
Challenge him?
For sure. I mean, he has an incredible get off. I mean, that's another thing I've been trying to get used to is just when he's able to time up that snap count and I have to get out of my stance faster. Things like that. He's good around the edge. He has great inside moves. He's a very, very hard defender to go against.
What do you expect from the Bears? Kind of get to finally go against a different team on Saturday. What will that be like?
It'll be fun. I feel like that'll be my first real. I'm not real test, but my first real test of NFL football.
How do you feel about DeJuan Jones alternating with you with the first team? How did that sort of help you rise to the occasion?
I mean, it was awesome. I think DeJuan's an incredible player, and he's a huge mountain of a man that can make really any block. So to be able to compete with him every single day, I do think it really pushed me.
How have you seen yourself just grow most in terms of your game, what you're able to do from the start of training camp or even when you go back to spring to now as you kind of been anointed that
I feel like I've improved pretty much everywhere. Just listening to the coaching that Coach Warhop gives me, and trying to what I need to do is just try to get as close to what he wants every single play. And as I continue to do that, I'll just get better.
Cadence has been a big buzzword for this camp. Monken
Is there?
Talked a lot about that. see the linemen jump off side or false start sometimes, but there's obviously more to it than you guys just jumping. So how has that whole process worked for the linemen with the two different quarterbacks?
I think it's been really good, and it's been great to go out there and practice it just because we have so many different cadences. I think a lot of the times we'll just get hyper focused in on a job, and sometimes you can forget about that cadence. So every day it's about building that mental strain of remembering everything that you're supposed to do pre-snap.
Do you have a sense for how much you're going to play Saturday?
What was that?
Do you have a sense for how much you're going to play Saturday?
I have no idea.
Spencer, can you talk about what was it like for you to meet your idol Joe Thomas, and then what did you also learn from him in your conversation?
It was so freaking cool. I mean, we had him in there in the meetings, and it's crazy just sitting next to a dude that has really done it all at the highest level. I don't think there's anyone that's done it at a higher level than him. And for him to give me some of his knowledge and to help teach me while I was out here was so freaking cool. It was amazing.
What's one tip you picked up from him?
I asked him a lot of the post-practice things that he'd work on. So I feel like kind of his post-practice drills was a big thing for me. Just how I can get better every day.
What did you learn at Utah? You played with some mobile quarterbacks who move the pocket, and maybe you don't always know where they are. What did you learn about protecting, Devon, for example, that can help you with Shedeur and Deshaun?
You just have to strain. The strain is probably the biggest. That's the name of the game. Is you have to strain. So that's what I learned most there.
When you say strain, what do you mean by that?
You can't just be content with technically most plays the ball is supposed to be out in like 3 seconds, but with those guys back there, it could take 6 seconds for them to make an incredible play. So you have to strain for those things to be able to happen.
Good.
Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you.
So I'm going to mute this. There is a big gap between Spencer Fano, who just ended his press conference, and we're waiting for the next player to come up. I'm Double P, host of Prepare Sports Talk. For those of you who do not know who I am, I'm down here in Atlanta. I'm here by way of Shedeur Sanders, supporting not only Shedeur Sanders, but, the Sanders family. Since Shedeur's played at Jackson State in Mississippi, going to Colorado, and now coming here with the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns did. For those of you who may not have seen it, I can share it with you. The Cleveland Browns did list their unofficial depth chart. And what is crazy is that on this particular depth chart is right here under quarterback, the Cleveland Browns. I've never seen no other NFL team place. They put for QB1, they placed Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders. As soon as the next person walk up to the podium, you won't have to hear my mouth, and we'll play the next person. But it's crazy how I really feel like the Haslams, the owner, G and Demi Haslam, they really want to keep their word to Deshaun Watson and give him the opportunity to play out there on the field outside of these preseason games. Give him an opportunity to play. And then if he starts playing poorly, I think his leash is going to be very short. But I think they don't want to get the backlash from the public because of the things that had occurred with Deshaun Watson back in his past. He cleared all his legal issues up, handled it in civil court, settled, monetary-wise for all the accusations cases that was brought against him. He's rededicated his life back to Christ. If you don't know, he has gotten remarried. He turned a new leaf. So I will say this, kudos to him from, practicing, rehabbing as well as he did. It's hard enough for one NFL player to come back from one Achilles tear, let alone he's coming back from 2. That takes a miracle within itself, and a fractured shoulder. Watson hasn't looked consistent out on the field. We're still waiting for the media is still waiting for the next person to come to the podium. So now I know they have limited time for them to do it because Coach Monken has to come up and speak before practice start also. You know, that's what threw me for a loop yesterday. I showed the press conference yesterday also. Number 10, Deshaun Watson spoke, and then right after he spoke, typically there's other players that speak, but Coach Monken came up directly. Denzel, so right now on this unofficial depth chart, they still haven't listed who's QB1. Let me know in the chat who would you like to see his QB1, whether it be Dillon Gabriel, whether it be Watson, or whether it be Shedeur. You let me know your thoughts. I'm thinking, it's just what I'm personally thinking. I think that Watson will start off in the preseason game away against Chicago. Listening to ESPN Cleveland, the team is traveling tomorrow, I think they said, up to Chicago, which is they're playing the game Saturday at 1 o'clock. And even ESPN Tony Grossi said he found it odd that they're going up there 2 days prior. Maybe that'll change. I thought they was going to travel on Friday and play the game Saturday at 1 o'clock. So we didn't know what time the game is. Cleveland Browns game is away in Chicago. They play at 1 o'clock. Coach Monken already said that both quarterbacks will play in the game. He planned on the starters to play in the game, nonetheless he's told by medical that there are certain players that cannot play in the game. So any of those players that the medical staff won't clear, they won't be playing in the game. We're still waiting. This is the same thing that happened yesterday. There was a delay on the next person that came up to the podium. So I'm glad I had this depth chart up so we can speak on this. Denzel Boston, a couple days ago, got elevated to the first team. He's the number 1 X wide receiver. So we got Denzel Boston, Jerry Jeudy, Casey Concepcion is your 3 main wide receivers. Cedric Tillman is number 19, who was on the first team last year. He got demoted. He's on this depth chart, has the backup quarterback. And I can quit running my mouth because Shedeur has came to the podium, and I can show you this. I can show you this. Matter of fact, I need to speed this up. Let me speed it up here. We got Shedeur coming to the podium. Where's he at? There we go.
Good. How's everybody doing? Good, good. First, I want to apologize for how things was last time I came up here before y'all. I think dearly, I dislike when it's a lot of separation and when something and when between the team and people get painted a certain way and all this different type of stuff. So that's where I get frustrated and I shut down, because this doesn't help us win. So it's kind of like an option, but not an option. So I feel drained when I express myself to people and places and cameras when it's not received and taken the right way, or we're trying to divide the team or anything like that. So that's where I was just trying to preserve my energy from going in depth with a lot of things. So definitely.
Shedeur, how do you think you played the last couple of weeks, just in relation to how you started?
Yeah, I think each and every day we improved as a team. I got more comfortable within the offense. There's definitely still challenges every day that you got to correct and focus on and be able to improve.
Do you know when you'll be going into the game Saturday?
Coach Monken, he's going to tell you how he told y'all. Y'all would know. Y'all would know as soon as we know.
Shedeur, coaches talk so much about the pre-snap operation. And yesterday, Coach Schweitzer talked about that, trying to save those 8 seconds. How important is that in your role, and how much improvement do you think you made? The coaches all say that you've gotten so much better in that.
It's very important. That's why it's like that's why I talk about saving your energy, you know. So you gotta, throughout my day, I find ways on how I can save my energy to be able to be a battery out there, to be able to operate fast, you know, and do everything with a purpose and very quickly. You can't do all that when you pulled in a lot of different directions, you know, because that's how I feel drained. I feel drained that way, and I tested it, you know. So I know what helps me, you know, what puts me in the best situation to operate, you know, how the coaches would like.
Is there one thing in particular when you're in a game situation that you're really kind of looking forward to seeing where you've grown the most from last year? What, you know, from that Cincinnati game to, you know, finally getting back out there in a real game setting and seeing where it's improved the most?
No, we approach practice like a game, so it's the same amount of focus and seriousness that it is. So that's why I'm excited to feel. It's like, how similar does it feel to practice, honestly? Because it's a different type of intention and a mentality, you know, that we go out there every day with.
Well, this is probably going to sound crazy, but I saw somewhere that you have a blister or blisters on your hand or something like that, which might make it a little bit difficult to throw. Is there any truth to that whatsoever?
You know, that happened this past offseason, getting back into it. Just from throwing a lot. Honestly, that's where it came from. And they all healed up now. Yeah, but that was the thing, like I would say at the start of training camp and everything, that, you know, we just had to work through and be able to figure out.
So Shedeur, you just said that you treat practice like a game. So what areas specifically do you think you've improved most in since that last game last season?
I would say being a great teammate, especially to that guy right there.
Who's he?
I got a question for you though.
He got to be pointing at Deshaun Watson. He's supposed to come up next, y'all.
Tunnel song. What song would it be?
It'll be perfect timing. It'll be perfect timing. I hope yours will be that too.
So you go ahead with the answer if you would, please.
What was the question?
What you said that you treat practice like a game.
Mm-hmm.
So my question was, what specific areas have you improved most since the end of last year?
I wouldn't really say improve most. I'll say every area I try to improve. It's like a chart within myself and seeing, okay, if I got 10 different areas to improve, like let's improve each area every day, you know, until it gets to max threshold. Max threshold, that'll take some time, you know. That's gonna take a couple years, you know, max threshold. But I think I'm improving in every area overall.
Coach Monken was saying the other day that he wants to see you and Deshaun in preseason games because it's a little bit different when a quarterback can get hit. There's a little, maybe an extra layer of evaluation there. How, if at all, does the game change for you when you know you can be hit?
You gotta think of how many times I got hit in college. That don't really faze me at all at this point in life. And obviously, it's the league, and I got hit multiple times last year. So I like the challenge of going out there to be able to get the ball out of my hands so I don't get hit. You know, that's a challenge for me. To be able to make the right reads, to be able to go through the progressions and figure it out. You know, and even in practice, I don't take it lightly when I possibly could get hit, because I'm trying to improve the process and speed everything up. You know, and it's extremely tough, but it's definitely a challenge that I look forward to every day going out there.
He also
switching of the reps with the ones every day. I mean, how do you think you handled that so far in these first few weeks?
Yeah, I think that doesn't even faze me or get to me, or I think about that at all. You know, I'm just thankful to be out able to practice, you know. So sometimes you gotta sit back and reflect on, why would I feel negative in this situation if last year was a total different situation. So I think about things that I'm thankful for in life and not that I really want. If you live in that want world, then you're gonna always be searching.
There's been a lot of interceptions at this camp. Do defense is playing great. I understand that. So you have the fewest of the quarterbacks. Why is that?
I'm not sure. I just try to go about the process every day, make my decisions and not really second guess or not. And not really like, I try to go through the process the right way and try to do everything I'm trying to do. So I think as long as that's at the forefront of the mind and understanding situations, understanding down the distance, understanding what's going on, and then you'll be able to know when it's time to force something and when it's not time to. So I know being on the field for me, the longest, I'm gonna be able to get a feel. So it's like, why put yourself in a situation where you could get taken off a field or anything? So that's what I try to focus on. And obviously it doesn't really happen like that. Some things are tip picks, some things are like just things happen. So it's kind of, if I know last year within the season, everything, I threw some picks, then it's like, of course, there's going to be a point, an emphasis to be confident with every decision I make. And that's just in life. Any decision I make, I'm fine with it, and I got to stand by it. And life and football translate to each other. So even now, the decisions I make off the field, like, I got to stand on it. I live by it, and, I can't regret it.
So a few days ago when, you found out, I guess, maybe before the walkthrough that you weren't going to be taking the 1 reps with the pads on that day, I watched you step up with the, in the 11 on 11s and sit like 3 straight passes right away, right where they need to be. Did you take that as a positive and not let that become anything where you wondered why that was happening like that?
No, I don't think with the coaches that we have, you ever wonder. I think whatever is said is direct. Obviously, it's like we was informed, and everything the right way. So it was never a miscommunication between us, So I don't know. I just don't really appreciate sometimes if things happen and if things happen and y'all just jump on the coach like he just tripping or something. I don't really like that because it creates just extra. And I hope we all here to want to win, and be a team and be a franchise. So it's kind of like we got to slow down, if that's what we want. But if we just in here to just make money and get clicks, then, we understand that too. So that's why I just appreciate the team. I appreciate everybody that we don't let anything online or anything really get to us, because we're in our own cocoon. We're a team. So anything outside of that don't really affect us in the building.
It seems like since Todd got here, you've been saying things like that, whatever the coaches tell you guys you trust. And you mentioned at the beginning of camp that he understood you very well. How did he go about building that trust with you?
I say by just letting everybody be themselves. That's how he is overall. He wants every player and everybody to be themselves and be able to, because that's the best way that everybody will be able to produce and be able to be themselves. So I think that's what it is. It's just everybody has freedom each and every day. You could be how you want to be within the guidelines of the team, and as long as you're not like disrespecting or do anything negative, then you kind of have like freedom.
Last one.
We saw this week Denzel kind of slotted in as the main extra season with ones.
I don't know what 1s and 2s are. Honestly, I'm telling you, it switches every day. So what's 1s and what's 2s? It's just work. Which work are we getting today?
Great response.
With Denzel, with KC, who's obviously putting up some good plays as well. Just how have you kind of developed? What's your chemistry been like with them? How have you kind of worked with them?
Yeah, I'll say it's good. I'll say the chemistry is definitely growing with each rep that I take with anybody, I would say. Because football is just a bunch of different situations that, in practice you may hit on one time. So like each day, that's why I say you growing and building in different areas, because just because you practice, it's a bunch of different situations in practice. So you look at things from different point of views, and it's way deeper than just it's 1st and 10, I'm gonna throw a slant versus like it's 3rd and short, throwing a slant. It's kind of like it's a big difference, between it, because one, like, is super on the line. The other one, you may not be as aggressive in. So it's all about down the distance. It's all about managing the game, time on the clock, and I think that's where, as a team and everybody, we're trying to get better at each and every day. And being able to handle all the installs and everything that is that's put on us is great, and it's ups and downs. It's strenuous sometimes. It's not, but it's good because that's how I said I feel like the game, when everything's more simplified, everything will be a lot more smoother within us.
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate this one.
Okay, awesome. We got a little break there. Deshaun Watson's going to follow up here very shortly. Deshaun Watson will be speaking. The very thing that stuck out is Shedeur Sanders from the last time he spoke. He immediately apologized to the press. He felt the need to apologize to the press about how he spoke to the press last time, but he was speaking his truth. He was speaking what he felt on, how, he wants the press and the media to speak life into the team and not put out their negative narratives, just to get clicks, to gain attention to themselves by spreading out false narrative. He also stuck up for Coach Monken, stating that they knew when they did the switcheroo on the reps that
about this opportunity.
he knew about it. Let me be quiet. Let's listen to Deshaun Watson.
Starting or not, but just getting out there finally and playing in a real game.
I'm super excited. I think all the hard work that I put in with the training staff, with my team, my personal team, to get to this stage has been tremendous for myself. So I'm super excited, for those opportunities, and can't wait for it.
Deshaun, can you talk about the way that just over the past week, at least from my vantage point, it seems like it's really kind of come together for you, and your performance has elevated by using BROWNS compact like last Wednesday and stacking good practices. Kind of what's going on here?
Just getting comfortable with what Coach Monken has, wanted us to do as a QB and as a team, and what is he looking for, trying to get on the same page on how he calling plays in certain situations. So my job every day is what I live by, is just keep trying to win the day, and every day I just take it one day at a time, can't rush anything, and let the football that I've been doing for my whole life just kind of take care of itself. So again, I'm in a good spot, and just keep trying to work and find ways to get better.
Deshaun, what do you think? Back to some of those earlier interceptions, around the last time we talked to you, looking back on them now, how much of that was maybe due to you experimenting, trying different things, like kind of like you talked about last time?
Yeah, I mean, I think every interception isn't, especially at this time of the year, you kind of got to look at them differently. In certain situations, what are we working on? What throws are we working on? Have I tried this throw before? We might have tried it in routes in air, and see if I can try it in a live period. And sometimes the defense make a good job, and then also, sometimes it might be a bad throw or a bad decision. So you kind of got to grow from them, and it's better to have those moments now rather than an actual game.
I guess off of that, how do you kind of go through, I know you talked about this last time too, how do you kind of go through mentally figuring out, all right, this is a session where I should try some things, I can try some things, versus this is one where I want to make sure, like, I'm just going to take what defense is giving me.
Yeah, I think it goes back to, in between periods, just making sure that, I'm on the same page with what period we're working on. Is it third down? Is it third and short? Is it fourth down? Is it red zone? Is it 1st and 10? Is it opportunities where we're taking shots? Is it 3rd and long where, Coach Monken is giving us a green light to test those throws? So I think it's just really just finding those situations within the game and being smart, and then watching the tape and actually, sitting down with the coaching staff and then, reviewing it so we don't, make those same mistakes, or, even if it does, work, all right, we don't want to go and have a living on those type of throws and situations.
Shedeur saying the other day that he wants to see you and Shedeur in preseason games because obviously you guys can get hit. That's a different situation than when you have in practice, especially for you. You haven't been hit in a couple of years now. What extra layer of evaluation maybe does that add for you in a preseason game?
I mean, for me, it's just really just being able to play live football against a different opponent. So, I'm not worried about being hit or anything like that. That's part of the game. So, But as far as me just operating in a live setting without being on the practice field and coaches being on the field with you, that's what I'm looking forward to, and just getting those reps.
Deshaun Shedeur was talking about how coach makes practice very game-like. How, I mean, in what ways do you feel like he does that? In having been in games before, what can't you replicate, no matter how hard you try when you're out there, beyond obviously the contact that you face from defense?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just really, I think what we just talked about is just those mistakes. The interceptions, the turnovers, the bad operation. Those things get you beat. So again, I think that's the biggest thing where you got to take it with a grain of salt. You got to kind of, again, you got to learn from it. You got to pick your spots. And sometimes, we might get a little too greedy and try to do some things and it goes the wrong way. And then we got to go back and watch the tape and know in this situation, these are the things that can lose you ball games. And be able to check it down. So, you take that, you put it in your memory bank, and then the next rep, you try to improve from it.
What about rhythm? How does a game setting help you build rhythm differently from practice?
Yeah, because the games is a lot faster. A lot faster. People are thinking differently. You don't have those times where you're kind of prepping on, again, this is third down. So, third down, we're going to play the sticks. Rather in a game where you got to be locked in on the situation. The plays, you're thinking about the last rep, the last play, but and you forget that it's third down, second down, or, you might play it a little bit different in practice. So, all those things just gotta, it takes time, and the more opportunities we get in preseason to be able to get those opportunities and reps is very helpful.
Sean, what do you think you've learned most about yourself since training camp began?
Learn most about myself? I mean, I already know who I am, so I don't think anything.
Well, I mean,
You didn't give up. You keep pushing.
Football.
I mean, it's just, it's like riding a bike. It's just kind of getting back and just playing football, playing free. I think the biggest thing is just really mental. Is my mental side is really just coming in, taking it one day at a time, not worried about what's going on outside, and just focusing on my opportunities.
Never heard so much use of the word cadence at a training camp. Every day it comes out from Coach Monken. As a 10-year veteran at your position now, are you as frustrated about what's going on as he appears to be?
I mean, yeah, I think Coach is definitely going to be frustrated because, he wants perfection, and that's what we strive for. And you want a coach that is striving for that. Even one pre-snap penalty, two pre-snap penalties, it might seem small in the grand scheme of things, but those things get you beat, like I mentioned before. So, this is very similar to how my training camps were back when I first got drafted with Coach Bill O'Brien. Very aggressive, very intense. He wants perfection, especially coming from the New England system with Brady. Everything was to the beat, to the, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. So, I'm very familiar with that. And, we got to stay on top of those things because, they're either going to help you or they're going to, help you lose a lot of games.
Sean, two things real quick. How much do you think it will help you once you get to take those, or if you do get to take those first team reps every day to develop that continuity day after day after day with the 11th and not having another one?
Yeah, I mean, it's very helpful. I think it's very helpful when you get to, speak with or play with the same guys, practice with the same guys. So you kind of build that trust and you build that, okay, this guy's coming out this way. Everyone is different. Everyone has different tendencies. Everyone has different ways of running routes and how explosive they are, catch radius, everything about that. So, it's obviously it's hard to going back and forth and different guys, but, you just try to, learn as much as possible and try to trust it as much as possible until that opportunity comes.
And the other thing real quick is the fact that 9 times out of 10, when I see you make a throw, it goes exactly where you want it to go, and it looks very accurate, looks great. Occasionally, it looks like maybe the ball didn't go exactly where you want it to go. Is that just typical, normal practice for any quarterback, or are you still kind of knocking around the rust off, or what happens when you see a pass that looks a little off?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not every quarterback's going to be perfect. So I don't think it's just no different than Steph Curry going and shooting a three. Sometimes it looks really, really good, but that's not the first time he's tried that. So, a lot of times he missed a lot of shots, and you keep repeating it until you get it perfect. So, sometimes it's going to be off. Defense give you different looks. They get paid on the other side, and we have a really good defense, and they're doing a lot of different things, disguising and making it tough for the offense. So you just try to, time it up and the ball doesn't go that way and they be in the right spot. So again, that's what the tape and this time period is for, is being able to learn and gain that trust and gain that experience. So you can put it in your memory bank and move forward.
Deshaun, when you get back on the field, like in your mind, you envision yourself playing exactly how you did in Houston, or you think that you may have to change it for style, but just given injuries and years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm different, man. I think ever since I've been here, early on, I think, bringing up Houston was cool, but I'm 30 now, so I think I had some injuries and things like that, so my game has definitely changed, but the mentality and how I play and what how I approach it doesn't. So I don't know. I think just going out there and just playing free and let my instinct just take over. So I think that's the biggest thing. And I've always had a coach. My coach O'Brien always told me, I always trust my instincts. So I think that's the biggest thing. You just go out there, play free, and let the game come to me.
Two more, and we're gonna wrap. Your fifth Tony just fumbled. Do you think you're practicing better than you ever have as a Cleveland Brown?
Of course, yeah, of course. I have a clear vision, I have a clear mind. So, I mean, I think the world know what what I went through. It's no secret, off the field and then on the field also with injuries. So, I think for anybody that had what I went through, I think would be in a different spot maybe. So I think I'm mentally tough and dealt with it as best as I possibly could to be able to be standing here talking with you guys. So I think if I would have handled it differently, I definitely wouldn't be, sitting right here, in front of you guys on my 5th year.
Deshaun, in recent days, you really tried with impact in the scramble attack. Right now, thank you, sir. In recent days, you really tried with impact on the run, and that's into the part of the game now. Things are different injury. How's it been for you post injury, but then reactivating that your game and just levels of comfort?
It's been good. I think being able to practice it and be able to get out on the field. And I know it's not live, but guys are chasing us. Our defense doing a heck of a job of reacting and being full speed to the point of attack. It's been really good to be able to test, my injuries and see where I'm at and my strengths. So I think I'm in a good spot and confident that, it's going to continue to just get better and improve.
What is, especially when you have a new offensive line, totally different from you than you were before. What does the work look like both on the field and off the field to get some of that behind the scenes, but also when you guys are out?
A lot of film study, a lot of one-on-one time, and just a lot of just communication. I think just normal conversation, when we're eating lunch, dinner, breakfast in the locker room, just kind of bringing it up, showing them different clips. And then once we get on the field, just try to apply everything that we talked about off the field, on the field, and see how fast we can, operate it and see it and just go out there and try to execute. So it's a lot of just talking and just watching it and just being on the same page.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, So everybody, there's a technical issue with the connection with the audio. I'm going to have to come back and show Coach Todd Monken on a separate stream. I hope you all like hearing from Shedeur Sanders
and Deshaun Watson. Already commented on Shedeur's comments. Watson appears to have his head together. They asked him a lot of questions. He's appreciate the opportunity to be able to compete again in NFL. He stated that anybody that went through what he went through as far as physically, his injuries in the past, 2 Achilles tears, a fractured shoulder, he said he don't even think that they would even have a strong enough mindset to be able to rehab and have the ability or the opportunity to get on the field. I like the headspace that Deshaun Watson's in. Like I said, he rededicated his life to Christ. He's got married. And the word tells it, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So it looks like he's grounded. He can focus on strictly football. And whoever you're rooting for, whether it be Gabriel, Watson, or Shedeur, we should want the best for each of these young men on the team, because in the end, if they're able to compete to the best of their ability, the Cleveland Browns will be able to perform at a higher capability and put a better product out there on the field. We shouldn't have to tear one man down and lift another man up. That's what I like. That's what I always like to say. And I will be going live. Reese Will, my collab partner, is there for the last day of practice, open to the public. So I'll be on again around 1:30, showing you live on the field play highlights. So if you ain't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Hit that notification bell. So anytime I come on live and drop a premiere drop, you'll get an alert notification. But again, 1:30, I'll be live showing the last day up in Cleveland, the Browns highlights on the field. Me and Reese Will Sports. All right. Appreciate y'all. If you ain't hit that like button, it's free also. Hit that like button. I'm a YouTube partner, so feel free to give a gift. And special shout out to the 200 drools that I got. I didn't want to talk over top of the video. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. Truly. And let me bounce back up here. Special shout out for the 200 drools. CC 193, CC 1913. I truly appreciate you. It's a blessing. Again, I'll be back on live with Reese Will. He's boots on the ground for the last day of the Cleveland Browns training camp. Y'all be blessed. I got to get set up for the next live airing. Y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next one.